Hey y'all, my name is Michelle Romero. I am certified in prenatal and postnatal fitness. How to heal your diastasis recti after having a baby, which is your abdominal separation. Now everybody has abdominal separation while pregnant because your uterus grows, so your abdominal muscles separate in order to make room for the growing baby. Not everybody has the issue of it not repairing itself after having a baby. So some people have different levels of this specific separation, and it just depends on how severe it is, on what kind of moves you can do. If it's something severe, then I recommend you seeing a physical therapist to help repair that separation. Otherwise, I will show you some modifications for you to do during my videos, and let's get started. So the main thing you have to remember from the previous video, I'm not sure if you've watched the abs and core during pregnancy and after. I have a video that's on my postpartum page for you to look at. So look at that video and it explains to you what you're going to see whenever you have DR. So we're going to call that DR. So it's right where your belly button is. You see the coning. If you see that coning, then you do have DR. You just have to know the severity of it. So if you've already gotten past that and you're on this video, and we have modifications that we need to do during my exercises, I'll already have some modifications in place whenever you're watching my videos, but I would like to explain a little bit further of the detail of what you need to do whenever you're doing those modifications. So the basic thing is a push-up and a plank. Those are the things that you probably should not be doing if you have DR, any form of DR. Even if it's just a little bit of separation and you have a little bitty cone and it's just a one finger separation, you shouldn't be doing those moves. The things you need to ask yourself during every single move is the amount of pressure you're putting on your core. So if you're doing a move such as a plank, and let's say you've been repairing it and you've been doing exercises, or you think that you're feeling better and you're feeling stronger, and you do a plank and then you do see that coning, or you feel like you're not strong enough in this area, then that means that we need to work on that a little bit more before you're able to do that move. So you need to make sure, what does the pressure feel like? Is the pressure too much in my abdomen? I'm not talking about the rest of your body, because if you just had a baby, then it's going to burn in the rest of your body. I'm talking about specifically in your abdominal muscles. Are you having any kind of pressure that's uncontrollable? Like you cannot tighten those muscles and engage those muscles, and it feels like you cannot do that. So that's something that you need to think about. You need to think, can I engage those muscles for the length of the move? So let's say you're doing a full 1 minute move. Can you engage those muscles for the entire 1 minute move? If not, then you either need to stop that move, modify, or just not do it for the full length. So let's say you start feeling after like 20 seconds that, okay, the pressure is just too much. You either need to modify even more or just stop the move and maybe do something else. So again, let's talk about the planks and the push-ups. So a regular plank and a push-up, obviously you're going to be like this in a full plank position. So unless you don't feel that coning right here, you can't even get down on your knees, because it's still going to be too much pressure in your abdominal wall. So I have a table here. This is a different way that you can modify. You can modify against a wall. So it's pretty much going to be the same sort of modification if you're doing this on a table, a chair, or a sofa, because this is all pretty much the same height. So you would just do the same thing. Get into position. Make sure your shoulders are directly over your hands. And this is your position. So at this point is whenever you need to ask yourself those questions. Is the pressure in my stomach feeling too much? Does it feel that it's too much pressure? Can I hold this move and keep my core engaged the entire move? Those are the things you need to ask. So this is a plank, and then it would be the same thing for a push-up. So you would do this, make sure your shoulders are directly over your hands. And then for a push-up, you can do one of two things. You can go the full length all the way down, or you can just do halfway moves. So you can go all the way down and all the way up, or you could just do limited range of motion. And for these moves, you need to make sure that whenever you're going down, my back is like a board. It goes down all at once. So whenever you're going down, you're going to look a few inches ahead of your fingers. And when you go down, you need to make sure that you are engaging your core. So you can also do it on a wall, and it would be basically the same thing. I know you cannot see me, but it would be the same thing. Now, I personally suggest you do a table or chair or sofa. I don't suggest you do it on the wall, but I know a lot of trainers that think that if you're a little bit more vertical, then it will not put as much pressure. But I think that if you can't do it on a table or on the floor, then maybe we should modify even more and not do that specific move and do something else until you're strong enough to do that move. So it's kind of up to you. So those are the things you need to think about whenever you're doing those moves. Now there's also something that you're going to see in my videos for a push-up burpee row. So if you were going to do a burpee, you're going to stand by a table, chair, or sofa. Stand here, hands down, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, and up, down, and up. Now I know it seems a little dramatic because you're going super slow, but I have to remind you that if you have DR, it is something that you want to build up. You don't want to make it worse. So if you have to go slow on certain moves, and this is just things that make your abdominal, the pressure in your abdominal wall too much. So if you're doing a shoulder press or a chest fly, those are things that are not going to affect your core. So you have to make sure that the moves that are not affecting your core, you're giving your all. That way you can still see some changes. Now I will say that those moves that I just mentioned, you have to engage your core, but you're not focused on your core. It's not a core focused move. So you don't have to worry about going super slow and damaging your core. So these are the moves that you need to make sure that you are focusing on. How long can you keep your core engaged? You need to make sure you keep it engaged the entire time, or you stop doing the move, or you modify the move even more. So the burpee can be done on a table. That's what I suggest, a table, chair, or sofa. Those are the things you have at home already that you don't need to buy or you don't need to modify. And then a plank would just be holding it on the table. And then obviously a push-up would be done on the table too. Now I do have another move that is a push-up row. So you would come right here and do your push-up. But if you're not in the position to even get to the table or get to a chair to be able to do a push-up because your core is not strong enough and you don't feel like you could even do a push-up on the table, then just do a row. Let me grab a dumbbell. So this is obviously not a dumbbell, it's a kettlebell. But for the push-up row, you would just row. So if you have 2 dumbbells, you're just gonna do your row. You're not gonna worry about doing any kind of push-ups or anything else. Just do your row. And then I also have something that is called a Russian twist. So you're going to be doing this. Anything that twists in your abdominal area, you should not be doing. So you need to modify that. So there's a few different ways you can modify. So whenever you come upon that move, you're going to lay down and put your forearms on the ground. Suck your belly button into your spine. Engage your abdominal muscles. Basically, the corset of your muscles, you need to make sure you're engaged. So all of this area needs to be tight. A few different ways we can do this. This leg's going to be on the ground, and then you're going to alternate tapping the feet. So you can do tap, tap, tap. That is the modified of the modified. There's another way you can do it. You can lay on the ground, engage this, legs up, and tap each leg. Now this one, you will feel pressure in your abdominal wall. So you need to make sure that your core is engaged and you're not coning. If you see the coning, then come to this move, because this is a good move. Tap each one, This is a really good move for newly postpartum and anyone with DR, because your abdominal muscles are not strong enough to do any kind of strenuous move. So those are a few modifications for the specific moves I have in my videos. I don't have any kind of crunch. Like, we don't do in my videos, you're not going to see regular crunches like this. We don't really do anything like that. I believe in doing other kind of core moves. I don't really like to do specific crunches. There is a move where you're going to be doing toe touches like this. And when you come up like this, you need to make sure you watch your abdominal wall. But that's not something that's really going to put a lot of pressure on your core. So you should not have to worry about that move. But if I missed a move throughout the time of you doing all of these videos, if there's a move that I do and you feel like you're coning, or you feel like you don't have enough, if you don't have enough strength in your abdominal muscles to be able to perform the move, then please contact me and ask me how to modify that move, and just do a different modification like I just showed you. So if you come to a move and I have not explained the modification, then just do the toe touches, the taps that I showed you, or get a table or a chair and do a modified plank. Now, if you are working with a physical therapist, then please ask them if you could do any other kind of exercises specific to your core. Ask them what their tips and their advice is. They might say, just do the stuff that I'm teaching you. Don't implement anything else. And if that's the case, then you can do my workout videos. Just take out the core work out of all of my videos. So those are the suggestions I have for you. I hope that this video helps you guys throughout the entire journey of your postpartum period. The first 6 weeks is going to be my level 1 series, and so if you get to the point where you are going to do level 2, then you need to make sure that you're strong enough to be able to handle level 2, because level 2 is going to be, that one's going to be a beast. That one's going to be a lot harder than my level 1. I wanted to do this one, that way all of you that have the abdominal separation, that you have videos that you can do that you can actually do. You have videos that you could perform the moves and not have to modify the entire time. So I hope this video helps you guys.